we're going to look at the principles of art that are rhythm and pattern. We're going to look specifically at how the way an artist places objects or brush strokes either moves our eye through in the case of rhythm or creates harmony in the case of pattern. Gloria Petyarre is one of Australia's most famous painters, Aboriginal painter who died not too long ago. But she used rhythm in all ways, and her mark making was kind of about creating this energy. You feel how it's like almost a vibration. It's almost like a movement. It kind of just brings you across the page. You're almost like carried along, like as if you're on waves. So that's kind of a great example of rhythm. Also, the cloud paintings of George O'Keeffe are a great example. They're also a pattern, obviously, but rhythm specifically kind of moves us back in space. Jean Brusselmans, I love as a Belgian painter, and I just recently discovered his work. And look at all of these rhythms in the clouds, in the way the trees kind of march along, the way that our eyes march up the page, the clouds kind of in boats bring us along. Obviously, also pattern. Rhythm is a little bit more like kind of this tight-knit placement. Wayne Thiebaud, his famous cakes, these are just rhythm. This is just moving us. We're marching across the page. You can disrupt the rhythm with other colors. You can keep it the same color, like in these apples. You see it in his landscapes as well. You see us kind of marching across with the rows, the crop rows, and the vegetation. So he also was a big rhythm user. Munch. I'm always corrected by people in the comments. I don't know. Anyway, rhythm in the sky, rhythm in the rocks, and even rhythm across the light in the panels and the shadows. Pattern is more of the use of objects in a certain way to create harmony. These are more Brusselman, and look at the harmony where it's kind of like these beautiful patterns, these like circular patterns, these patterns in the light from the trees, the patterns in the cloud. It's a little bit less about moving our eye across and a little bit more, I love this painting of the birds so much, a little bit more about creating harmony. So that's kind of the difference, although they live hand in hand in my mind. That's why I did this video with one. Again, a pattern there, the pattern of these round shapes moving us across, the pattern of the people, even the pattern of the window shapes, the bricks, the windows, it's all just so beautiful. Mama Andersen is a contemporary Swedish artist. And she uses pattern a lot. Like, look at how the pattern of the birds, the trees and the reflections, the four women and then the one on the other. Like, it's such beautiful, and often the pattern is in value in her case, light next to dark. Like, how does that pattern? So maybe in whatever you do, maybe look for an image that you could exaggerate some pattern and make some of the leaves dark and some light. Maybe you will be inspired to do maybe warm and cool next to each other. But it's about like the careful placement of either repeated shapes or repeated colors or alternating shapes. It reminds me of like SATs, remember like you took those tests and you had to figure out what the next thing would be based on the pattern. This is kind of, you can play with that a lot. So look for an image of an interior, a nature scene. This is Nell Wiver. I love these. These are so great. The patterns of nature would be really fun to exaggerate and explore. Yeah, this is great. This is just great. Tal R. This is a great example of how you can use color in a pattern to create harmony. It doesn't have to be predictable pattern. It can be just something exciting and different, but these all have a pattern in them. So I think that's what we're going to exaggerate maybe what's already existing. Villard was just, always involved these textiles, like just layering textiles, like Matisse did. But you can see, imagine if these textiles were missing, these would be the most boring paintings, because what creates the interest and the tension and moves in the harmony is this layering of pattern. And yes, there's some pops of color that are interesting, but really he uses a pretty analogous or harmonious palettes a lot, so the contrast comes from the patterns butting up next to each other. There's certain types of like a repetitive pattern. Jacob Lawrence does this a lot in his Great Migration series, where it's like these three people, the heads are a pattern, the repeated pattern, the colors here of the blue, yellow, or blue, white, and red. Silhouette obviously always does patterns. So it's a big thing in abstract. Flowing rhythm is a type of rhythm we see in the sky in Starry Night. We see actually a lot in his skies and his olive trees. Art Deco art had a lot of flowing rhythm in it. Random rhythm is more like the Pollock and that whole genre and Klimt and stuff. Even though it doesn't have like a set repeated pattern, we are being carried across with it. So yeah, bring in an image that you would like to exaggerate the pattern or has one already. Okay, bye.